We're recording. I never quite read this thing correctly, but we're recording. Welcome to Conversations with Calvin, We the Species, on a Saturday afternoon. The sun is shining, coming through the blinds in the back, and I'm with Honson TRAN, class of Rutgers 2020. Uh, Most interesting, there's so much to unpack, and I'm going to let Honson do that. But for everybody out there, I need to kind of say we met on LinkedIn, and what a great place, and what a great forum, and what a great place of magic as far as connectivity goes. Because we met a few weeks ago, and here we are sitting on a Saturday afternoon chatting. So I'm done. Hudson, how about a little bit of quick bio so people get an idea who you are? Take it away.
Yeah. As I said before, I'm Honson. I'm a recent grad of Rutgers. I studied computer science. I think for the last few years, I've gained an interest in machine learning and computer vision, and that's pretty much the work that I've been doing the past 2 years essentially, and pretty much discovered this this really pivotal moment and like this huge vision to kind of pursue down this track kind of in my mid years of college. And yeah, this is pretty much what I'm doing now. I'm just doing research in the field of AI, and yeah, just lots of exciting things to talk about, and we can discuss it more throughout the interview.
Perfect. Um, and of course, I have no, my generation has no concept about AI other than maybe Steven Spielberg's movie AI, but that's beyond me. But how did you? I always like to know this. How did you start off, and with computers?
Yeah, so I actually got my first computer the moment I came out of the womb. Actually, my grandmother bought me a really clunky Windows 95 CRT monitor, like literally a dinosaur computer. I actually didn't know how to use it until I was maybe 5 or 6, but this was back during like the dial-up days and whatnot. Uh, but that was pretty much how I started, just typing and learning how to use the internet, and uh, then realized everything that I always was curious about as a kid. Instead of going out and wreaking havoc and figuring things out in the real world myself, just a quick Google search will pretty much allow you to absorb the information and knowledge that was out there in the world. So for me, I was kind of always hooked onto the computer. And then this eventually led to me wanting to help other people with how curious I was in tech. And I ended up starting a computer repair business. I had a mentor that taught me how to fix laptops, fix computers, and whatnot. And I started learning and taking apart things and helping other customers around here in Jersey Shore.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get into machine learning?
Yeah.
I don't even. By
So
the way, I don't even know what that is.
yeah.
Wow.
So I guess a brief, if I were to explain it in 30 seconds, machine learning. So I guess programming, a lot of people think of it as you're essentially telling the computer what to do, right? So you're writing a language in a way a computer understands, and the computer converts it to instructions that it understands, and then it does stuff for you. Machine learning is kind of a different way of approaching programming, where you're programming and designing the framework for the computer to reason by itself through the data that you feed it in. So yeah, through mathematical operations and whatnot, that when I don't want to really get too in depth for the interview, it takes that in and then does the calculations by itself, and then uses statistics and probabilities to calculate what the best prediction is for you. The reason why it's such a huge breakthrough right now is everyone's using it because it's effective. Uh, but to answer your question, machine learning, how did I get into it? I started just studying computer science at Rutgers, and I wanted to double major in electrical engineering and computer science. I love tech to the point where I just wanted to kind of have the whole stack. Um, it was super hard. Didn't really get through a majority of it, and a part of my time was spent kind of questioning what I really want to do in tech. Like I knew I loved it, but just didn't know what to really focus on. And fast forward one day, I got to, go to a conference. I got an email and I completely funded myself in the middle of the semester to literally go on soul searching. It was something that was interesting to me and I wanted to give it a try. And looking back on it, if I just kind of stayed in school and I didn't just jump the jump the bandwagon over to, to this conference, I probably wouldn't have discovered machine learning. But I really got to see all the big picture stuff that machine learning had to offer. And being someone that really wants to help a lot of people, but just doesn't, I don't think anyone really has the time to study like, biology, chemistry, physics, like all the entire spectrum of science. I thought that machine learning was a way to help each and every single one of these little industries or domains through like programming and computers. So I could help them in like some, by proxy essentially.
Okay. Are there any past experiences that you think helped you lead you to where you are today? Anything specifically in your past?
Yeah, so I think that the conference really did help out. And soon after that, I took a gap year to essentially realign myself and my classes and see what's going on. I think that was the very beginning, and I actually didn't know what I was doing. I just thought that I should just reset and then go back to school and then figure things out from there. But I believe I really did get lucky, and the timing, everything in the stars kind of aligned there. Where my first internship experience was actually with BMW. I somehow got in for the fall internship, and I found myself kind of traveling within a week's notice down to South Carolina to miss out on fall semester. And I was in that department with a bunch of PhDs and a bunch of people who were probably tens of hundreds of times smarter than I was, and it really inspired me to kind of relook at the way I saw education or academia. It made me want to go back, and from there was just a huge snowball of just a lot of opportunities that came up, asking me to like, hey, like let's do research together. Do you want to work at X company and create a proof of concept with your skill sets? And yeah, that was really where it kind of stemmed out. So a lot of my experience was really from just self-learning and being really curious. But Rutgers, was that kind of like kind of that track that I kind of kept going along to keep building up foundations. But machine learning wasn't really offered through Rutgers. Yeah.
Okay. Off topic.
hmm
So I'm going to catch you off guard. Off topic. Can you name 5 things, no particular order, 5 things in life you can't live without?
Yeah. Oh, this one's like an easy one. I think, yeah, I think the first one is definitely my computer. Cannot live without. During my internship studies, I always carried a mini desktop that had enough power to do everything I wanted to do. I traveled with that in my suitcase. Second thing is cannot live without internet. Literally cannot. If I'm stuck on a remote island, I might die. Third thing I think would definitely be, obviously no particular order, right? Family, and now, fourth one would be my dog now. I think I went through a lot of tough times, and having a dog has really helped me through those times. And the fifth one, again, if she's watching this, no particular order again, my girlfriend, really helped me through failing class after class, or just like not knowing what to do with my life. And this has been going on for like, the first 2 years of our relationship, and she's really tried to help encourage me to keep going. And I think without that support, I wouldn't have been able to push through the wall that I was facing with my career and where I was progressing and what I wanted to do with my life, really. So, thank you for like all those things that I have in life. And yeah.
Perfect. So, do you have any future plans? Things that what are you working towards now?
Yeah, so right now I'm in an R&D group at Princeton. It's called Latent AI. They're doing a lot of AI quantization, so pretty much making like big gigantic models that run on like Google data centers and big massive supercomputers. We're trying to shrink them so that they can run more efficiently and faster for smaller devices. And this will be able to branch out to a bunch of different products for everyone to use.
Wow.
So that's just like just a really quick one sentence.
Wow.
Um, and eventually, I do want to go for my PhD. Um, and hopefully I want to continue studying so that I can eventually be impactful in some way, shape, or form in regards to government policy, how we look at how we're going to deal and handle this tech in an ethical manner for the next decade or future next century maybe. I think all those things are really important to think about aside from just the engineering and the super cool science stuff that I learned on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, another quick off topic. Um, During this pandemic, excluding family and friends, living or dead, is there anybody you would like to spend a day with?
Yeah, I think it's most beneficial to pick someone that's dead. If I had this opportunity, I think I think maybe Steve Jobs perhaps. Even though he wasn't the person that did most of the grunt work, I think his mentality was what really helped push a lot of things forward. And I think it's important to kind of recognize that, even though Wozniak did make a lot of the hardware and
Yeah,
deal with a lot of that stuff, but Wozniak is still around. Elon Musk is still around. Maybe if I work hard enough, I'll be able to meet them in this lifetime.
there
So
you go. So finally, last question. Any advice? Two parts. Any advice you'd give to yourself, uh, um, to your younger self? Any advice to your younger self, and advice to people who are watching this interview? And we'll wrap it up.
yeah, I think the number one thing that I always tell myself now that I didn't know before was, if you're falling flat on your face and you're failing over and over and over again, instead of thinking of it as the wrong track, sometimes obviously there's edge cases to this statement, but you should consider it sometimes it might be the right track, and that that resistance is what really helps you grow and learn as a person. And if it's something that you really truly care about, uh, then you'll eventually, if you hit it enough, if you hit that wall enough times, eventually it'll really break down. And I think that's the one thing to really remember for us as humans too. It's just our curiosity. It just doesn't stop. And in order for us to grow, we really just have to keep pushing these boundaries. And there will be failures. So having that perspective makes all the difference in your life.
Wise, wise words, especially from kind of a young person. And I'm kind of amazed, when I listen to the when I listen, sometimes I have to, you pinch myself off camera here that I'm talking to somebody, who's kind of a half century younger than me. And that's basically what it is. But the wisdom that comes out of you is great. So, Honson, this has been wonderful. And I can't thank LinkedIn enough for putting us together. And I can't thank you enough for your time and your energy and your words. And I often say this on interviews, but I say it with equal enthusiasm and sincerity that I'd love you to come back. And we discussed this before we went on camera, the options and the ideas for content. So you're always welcome back here. This channel keeps on evolving. And I just want to thank you so much.
Yeah,
And wish you
of
all the
course.
best.
Yeah, and if anyone really has any extra topics or anything that they're curious about, like definitely drop a comment in the video below,
All
and
right.
make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah.
Sure. Yep. Subscribe to the channel, and people will be able to contact you. There'll be contact information, and you and I'll be in touch. And again, I thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome.
Anymore.
Thank
Okay.
you for having me.
Thank you.